1-800-357-1583.
News, weather, and talk on KCAA 102.3 FM, broadcasting to the Moreno Valley, Corona, and Riverside.
Welcome to Smart Health Talk with your host, Elaine McFadden.
Take a walk on the wild side. Will the birds and the bees survive? Right before me, my newfound hippie side. Once ignored these conspiracies online. Out the window, visions of the earth. Sign me up now, make sure you use your smart. Take a walk on the wild side. Will the birds and the bees survive? Would your children lie to see Mother Nature's side?
Welcome to Smart Health Talk with your host, Elaine McFadden.
Welcome, everyone. This is Smart Health Talk, and I'm your host, Elaine McFadden, your own personal dietitian with a master's in public health. And I tell you that because I want you to understand why I talk in the generalities that I do. Because in public health, we're looking at the big picture. We're looking at how can we save money. And this is an issue that I would like to think both sides of the fence here would be able to come together on. We don't want our government wasting money. We want to start saving money because we need to invest in America. We have an infrastructure that's falling apart. New technology is just around the road. We want to be able to invest in that new technology to make our country even safer. And I have a lot of things planned for us today because we're going to be talking about things in the news that have to do with issues, big time decisions, how we're allocating billions of dollars of our budget, those kind of things. But then we're also going to be getting into healthy eating because I am a dietitian. If you've listened to our show before, you know my number one recommendation is to get the pesticides out. Yeah. And to do that, all you got to do is buy organic. And guess what? You don't have to worry about GMOs because GMOs are not organic. So when you see that GMO label on some organic food, don't think that the next one that doesn't have a non-GMO label on it has GMOs in it, because all organic products have no GMOs. And that's something we definitely want to get out of our whole food system, actually. People say, oh, biotech is great. But guess what? They have actually failed on pretty much everything that they have promised to us. And let's start with what they came out with. They got their license to do GMOs because they said, oh, we're going to be drought resistant. Well, guess what? Failed. They are not drought resistant. Just the opposite. They actually fail miserably in a drought. They're very needy plants. They need major amounts of pesticides, chemicals, and, water, sun. They want it all. Very needy, like a very expensive girlfriend. That's what GMOs are like. And what do we get back? Oh, let's see. Soil infertility, poisoning of our environment, and poisoning of us. And they say the thing is, they're slowly poisoning us, which is actually worse than like one large dose. The slow poisoning is just grueling on our bodies. Oh my gosh. It is doing some really horrible things. And I think most people know what antibiotics do. Yeah, they go in, they kill the good guys and the bad guys in our gut. And that's why women get yeast infections afterwards, which we talked about. A great product for that, by the way, last week. 3 weeks ago on our show. Anyway, that's when you get this this imbalance in your system, then things are going to take over. Well, that are not necessarily the good things. Well, guess what? These pesticides, a new study that just came out, said they're pretty much all of them are antibiotics. There is like bacteria in our environment. When you make a SCOBY, when you make homemade kombucha, you can put ginger. You peel the ginger, you cut it up, you put it in water, and you put some sugar in there. So you kind of want to, dissolve the sugar in some warmer water and cool it. And then you can put the ginger in there and you cover it with a cotton cloth and a rubber band so the air can get in, but the buggies can't. And lo and behold, in a couple weeks, you actually have a SCOBY, a symbiotic culture, some symbiotic organism of bacteria and yeast, something like that. And so it actually grows on the top. It looks kind of like flesh or something. It's kind of weird. And it feels weird too. But it's actually the bacteria that was on that food. And we're destroying this bacteria in our environment. We don't even know the damage that we've done. This is good bacteria. This keeps so many things growing well, staying healthy, provides a great environment for our beneficial insects, and plus probably creates healthier foods for us because we're just starting to learn the benefits of all these different bacterias. And I tell you, not all those probiotics are created equal. And if you've listened to our show, you'll know that we have two, Lifeway and BioK. And those people have been doing it for actually over 100 years. The Lifeway people, these people that come out with a probiotic like Align that has a lawsuit against them because they didn't have the bacteria that they sent on the package. They just got into the business because everyone's wanting it right now. But that's not their business, and they don't make a good product, all right? And of course, Yakult, that's been around for a long time. But as we learned, these bacteria just help the environment in our gut. We're not absorbing these bacteria. They're not multiplying in our gut. They're just creating a perfect environment for our own good bacteria to be able to come back. And it keeps the bad guys at bay. It's kind of like sending in an army. They're all coming in. We are here to kill the bad guys. We are going to reduce numbers. And then the next thing you know, the bad guys' numbers are been reduced by half or so. And all of a sudden, the good guys are like, hey, we don't have those bad guys killing us anymore. We can flourish here. And that's what these probiotics do for us. So we want that. We want that more than anything because our gut is the key. Our gut is where our immune system is gets all its mojo is from our gut. I mean, we have pounds of bacteria in us. Yeah. I mean, it's something like 6 pounds of bacteria in our bodies. If you're healthy, if you're lucky, you have all that good stuff. But some of it's bad. But you really can't say good, bad, because it's all part of us and it balances itself out. It's when we are in a state of distress that balance goes away. All right. So when we have pesticides that are going into our environment on our food, they're destroying these organisms that we're just talking about how great they are. They're in the soil. I mean, trillions and trillions in one little square inch. And we were just talking about how GMOs failed on being drought resistant. Well, guess what? When farmers transition to sustainable farming, not only do they increase their profits by 78% because those GMOs and those pesticides and those chemicals are expensive and they keep jacking the prices up because they've got their little monopoly. Okay? And so with sustainable farming, you can save your own seeds. You don't have to even buy any seeds ever again if you wanted. And then when you start increasing that organic matter in the soil, you increase it 1%, which is exactly the opposite of what GMOs do. When you increase it 1%, you have now increased the water absorption capacity to where it can hold something like 20,000 extra gallons in 1 acre. And that's because that organic matter is like a sponge and it's holding it in the water in place. It's not just, if you've ever poured water through sand, you know it just goes right through, right? When you got organic matter, it's like, it's not going right through. It's slow going through there because the organic matter is holding it in place, and all those roots are like, have lots more time to suck it up. So we're not wasting all this water. So GMOs, besides polluting our environment with these pesticides that are destroying the good bacteria in our environment and probably causing all kinds of other havoc because of that, and robbing us of it, and the nutrients in that soil are like nothing compared to regenerative soil. And what about taste? Isn't that why we eat food? And I've had people out there that try to discount that. Well, I sold produce for 5 years. I went to the farms. I went to my customers and brought the produce there. I bought both. I started off not knowing about pesticides. And as soon as I found out, I'm like, no way am I feeding that food to people. I'm not selling poisoned food to people. And I can't believe that we're getting away with this now. It makes no sense. Who wants to poison their family? Well, we're being forced to when you buy conventional. Go to the farmer's market. Go to eatlocalgrown.com. Search your address, your zip code. You will find all the farmers right in your area. And you can get so many services. They'll deliver to your house. Fresh stuff, just picked, no pesticides. Incredible food. It is so beautiful, and it stores. It lasts way longer. So, okay, maybe you pay a little bit more then. But I tell you, in the long run, you'll be paying a lot less. Okay, so they failed on drought. Okay, then they said, we're going to increase yields. Guess what? Sustainable farming yields are just as high as GMOs. That is a total lie. That they have more. Because they don't. And guess what? Those farmers, sustainable farmers, are making 78% more money. And they are not slaves to some tariff. That's right, because they can just sell their stuff local. The apple farmers in Canada that grow beautiful Canadian apples, not one of those apples goes to juice. And the reason is they're all sold as produce. Who wants to juice that perfect apple? Everyone wants to eat that apple. The juice that they make that's organic comes from about 4 different countries. Because we can't get it together and get our organic programs going here in the United States. Okay, good news, the Farm Bill did put some money in there to start up some sustainable programs. And I'm hoping with the people that we now have in Congress that more and more things are going to start happening. You go, Alexandra, you go. And I watched her on 60 Minutes, Alexandra Ortega-Cortez, and it is amazing how this woman has been in office. She's the youngest ever, the youngest congresswoman ever, youngest congressperson ever. And she's been in office like 5 days, and people are like having her on 60 Minutes, talking about her on this channel and that channel. The girl's there for like 4 days, okay? Can you give her a friggin' chance? Why is everyone coming at her? Because she puts ideas out there like they're radical. 70% tax, guess what? It was 92% during World War II. And then from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, it was 70% during that entire time. So how is it something that we had as a country for 30 years a radical idea? It's not. And all these people are like, how are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay for it? Well, guess what? I have a professor from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst that is going to be joining us on our show. He's an economics professor, and he did a study for an entire state to be 100% single payer. Everyone gets insured. Everyone's covered. And guess what? People say, oh, how are you going to pay for it? Well, when you look at the big picture, you know that thing I was talking about at the beginning of the show? When you look at the big picture, like, I'll give you one example. Medicare. Medicare administration costs are 2%. They have the same codes at every single hospital across the country. One hospital in Canada only requires 2 staff members to handle those codes and to process all of the different claims with the insurance companies. Over in the United States, a hospital will require something like 400 to 500 employees to do the very same job that takes 2 people in Canada, because they have all these different insurance companies, they all have their own codes, and it takes all these people. And guess who else has to pay all that money? Doctors. Yeah, that's why doctors are behind single payer, because they're going to have more time to live their life. They're not going to have to hire all these people. They're going to make more money. And then when we look at administrative costs for the big insurance companies, 17% for administrative costs. And they use that extra money to search for sick people so they can get rid of them before they have to pay for those healthcare costs. They don't want to take care of you. They really, really don't. Now, I'm not saying that that's true for all insurance companies, but I'm sure that I could find all kinds of people in this country that had a loved one that died because they got dropped from their insurance. We have 50% of the bankruptcies in this country are healthcare debt related. That's after the people lost their job, their house, their life savings, and have nothing left and were dropped from their insurance company. And this is 50% of bankruptcies in this country are healthcare costs. If we became single payer, guess what? That goes away. Guess how many bankruptcies were in Denmark because of healthcare costs? 0. How many in Canada? How many bankruptcies because of healthcare costs in Canada? 0. How many in Switzerland? 0. Because they all have universal health care. No one has to worry about that. No one in the entire country. And people are so afraid. Oh, you're going to take more money. You're going to make me pay for those poor people. That is so wrong. As I just said, we are going to have a professor on here that is going to tell you how you implement a single payer system in an entire state, and they end up with $1 to $2 million in their bank account. It doesn't cost them anything. They actually make money. They make money. You know, everyone's just like, so how are you going to pay for this? How are you going to pay for this? Oh, I don't know. When you look at graphics, oh, here, let me pull up my graphic that I had just saved. Let's see. Date added. Okay. Where is that one? Well, it pretty much comes down to, it is like 700. Okay, wait, here, what I have. On average, other wealthy countries spend about half as much per person on health than the U.S. spends. So, why are we spending twice as much? Why? Insurance companies. All that profit that's going in their pockets could be used to make our healthcare cheaper. And what about those pharmaceutical companies? You know, Trump is saying, oh, I'm going to lower pharmaceutical costs. Really? Guess what? All kinds of drugs at the beginning of the year, price up. That is a total lie. They have us. Don't you understand? They have us. And until we turn the tables And we have the bargaining power where we say, oh, you better give us a good enough price or we are going over here because we don't need you. We have another place that we can get this and get the competition going and get the bidding war going. Oh, I would love that day. I would just love that day to watch the pharmaceutical companies all over themselves with these other companies like a fraction. And if you go to our website, smarthealthtalk.com, I have all of that. Just look on the right-hand side, click any of those, click Warren Buffett or any of the other things I have about healthcare. And just take a look at those insurance company CEOs, how much money they friggin' make. It is unbelievable. We're talking even like $100 million a year. How many lives? How many lives were lost because the insurance, they dropped their insurance so they could have a higher profit and pay that CEO an exorbitant amount of money? How many lives were lost so he could be paid that? How many people died that had loved ones, that had people dependent on them because of those insurance companies? I have absolutely no feelings for them whatsoever except disgust. And as far as I'm concerned, they have murdered people on purpose. People go to prison for life for that. Corporations, not accountable. Not accountable. Okay, what other kind of great things can we learn here? Because I got some good ones. Okay, let me see what this one was. While the U.S. has similar public spending, its private sector, okay, that's the difference between Medicare and the insurance company, its private sector spending is triple that of comparable countries. We are being taken. We're being played, okay? These companies are ripping us off. Taxpayer money that could be going for thousands of other things, except in their pocket. When we set up the single payer system, we are going to end up with extra money because all those drugs that we're buying, we could get them for a fraction of the cost. I have on there, there are drugs that will sell for like $10 in another country and like $400 here. I am not kidding you. When I was doing all the research and putting that webpage together, I was shocked. And I was depressed when I thought about the bankruptcies and the people that were needlessly dying. We can change all that. And no one has to worry that extra money is going to be taken out of their paycheck so that they have to pay for some poor person to have health care. As a matter of fact, what's going to happen to that paycheck? I'll tell you what's going to happen to that paycheck. You may have to pay a little bit more in taxes, but guess what? You know that $3,000 they're taking out for health care? Well, or at least $1,000 to $2,000. And that's like for one person, okay? That won't even be happening. It's covered. It's covered. A little bit more taxes, and you don't have to pay that big old chunk for health care. And people are, oh, you're going to get lower care. Where do we hear that people are dying in Canada because they're getting lower care? Are you kidding? They love it. They get to wake up every morning and not have to worry about their health care. They are covered. Okay, I really hope that you go to smarthealthtalk.com and click on our left side, right at the top there. We have a bunch of different healthcare things, and we have like one page on what to do if you have a heart attack and if you're alone. And it's so easy to read. If you bookmark that what to do if you have a heart attack page on your phone and on your computer, if anything happens, you can just go right to it, because that will be such a stressful time that you will be fumbling all over and you wouldn't even know what to do. And you may live with someone that you're worried that could happen to. And in case you didn't know, women's symptoms are different than men's symptoms. So you may think, oh, I know the symptoms of a heart attack, but all everyone talks about are the men. All the studies are done on the men. You know, there is like all the drugs and all these studies they do, most all the time they're done on men. And so finally they had to do an ambient study on women, because women were sleepwalking. Women were like so tired, they were falling asleep while driving to work in the morning after they took that sleeping pill. And guess what they found out? Women metabolize it differently. You know? We're left out of all this stuff. Who knows how these other drugs are interacting in us that they're prescribing? And if you're on statins, we just threw out a huge bag of prescription drugs that are just not even needed. Blood pressure medications, statins that doctors tried to push on us. They cause dementia. Let me tell you, every single cell in your body has cholesterol as a critical component of it. Every single cell in your body has cholesterol. And that cholesterol is critical for proteins and how they're used. They make like little rafts in there and help the proteins get to where they need to get, and the way they all kind of come together, all the rafts together in a little clump, you know, and they just do all these incredible things. And it all has to do with the lipids, the fats. And they are the ones that keep the cell membrane, that keep it firm, and so that it has its shape. I mean, there are so many things that these fats do in every cell of our body. Now, when you take a pill and it's blocking cholesterol, what cholesterol is it blocking? Okay? That's what I want to know. Because they found out higher rates of dementia and Alzheimer's with people taking statins. So guess what? Your brain cells have a lot of fat in there. Your brain is like a blob of fat. That's why omega-3s are so critical in your diet, because there's a special little spot in your brain where there's supposed to be an omega-3. And if you don't eat any omega-3s in your diet, then that spot is taken up by some lower quality fat, that you're not going to get the same kind of reaction in your brain. Personally, I want my brain working at tip-top shape, because I make decisions that can really affect my life. Even when I'm driving, I could be affecting other people's lives. I want my brain working as best I can. And the last thing I want is dementia or Alzheimer's. I work so hard to get all this information in my brain. I don't want to lose it, okay? So just keep listening to Smart Health Talk. And if you go to our website, I'm sorry I haven't changed my graphic for Smart Health Talk resolutions to 2019, but you'll see 2018, and I have so many great tips there. But just watch our past shows. Go to YouTube. So please subscribe to Smart Health Talk. It would help us immensely if you would do that. We have so many great videos that we've been putting out just this week. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos critiquing different commercials, things like that. And that's because I see so much on television that I know is a big fat lie. Okay, let's see if I can find that page that I had for that one. Let's see. Okay. Oh, and Dr. Seneff is also going to be joining us. Dr. Seneff is she was at MIT 50 years. Okay, she did data collection. She worked with data analysis, data collection. She's writing a book right now, everybody. So she's done all kinds of research on glyphosate, and she's pretty much predicting 80% autism in our boys in 15 years at the rate we're currently going, which is very, very scary. And for those of you that want some information on supplements and teas and products and how to whip up a quick batch of organic chili and how to get bargains on organic, we're just about ready to get into that as well. Okay, I was looking for that one thing. I'm not really finding it very well. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. Oh, here we are. Here it is. Okay, VitaFusion. Okay, saw them advertising on television, and I see this bottle, and I was really curious about it because they got fruits and vegetables, berries, all these things like floating all around and all around their bottle. Like, oh, that's what you're getting, right? Ingredients: glucose syrup, probably GMO. Sugar, water, gelatin. From where? Gelatin from some factory farm cow that ate GMOs their entire life. Okay, less than 2% blend of oils, coconut and or palm. We have no clue where either is coming from. Palm oil is something that's destroying the rainforest. If it's not from an organic, sustainable source, then it's probably from a plantation that burned down a rainforest and displaced orangutans and all kinds of animals to put a plantation in there. There are sustainable ways that doesn't destroy the rainforest, and that's what organic producers buy from. Fair trade. And by fair trade, I looked up another product, Pure Tea, and it has on it Rainforest Alliance, Starbucks. Okay, well, Rainforest Alliance, when I did research into them, they don't have to have all their ingredients Rainforest Alliance certified. And it only has to be a small percentage even. Where when you have fair trade certified, it's like 100% of the product has to be fair trade. So I tell you, there's a big, big difference. Okay, what other kind of great ingredients do we have in here? Oh, we have some beeswax, which we have no clue where that's from either, and the cannabis wax, which comes from a beetle. It's an insect, and that gives the shiny coating on the outside. Citric acid, which despite it saying citric, has nothing to do with citrus fruits. It is a GMO. Pretty much all citric acid comes from GMO sugar or GMO corn. Excuse me, it's like GMO corn or something like that. But, you know, it's a chemical process and it's not coming from citrus fruits, everybody. All right, it's a very refined product. Colors: blueberry and carrot concentrates. Wow. And some lycopene, lactic acid, and natural flavors. Okay, when it says natural flavors, that is actually hiding a long list of chemicals that you really don't know what they are. And it could be 100 to make one flavor. So that those two words, natural flavors, could be hiding hundreds of chemicals that they use to create a flavor in that little gummy vitamin that they're selling here. So this was just a gummy vitamin called VitaFusion, and they put all this fruit in their commercials. They put all this fruit on the label, and what they're showing, the berries, it has absolutely no berry in there. Okay, so that's a total lie. This is how people are marketing to us, and I want to expose what's going on. So I'm going to be working on a lot of those. I've already been starting to collect them. Now, I want to get into being a smart organic shopper here. And I hope I have time to get to the ads too. So I'm going to probably talk pretty fast because I want to get to this and kind of go through some of the ads that I found locally here. And I saw where I'm looking for organic bargains. That's what I'm looking for, because I want to be, some things you can get cheaper. And then the money that you save, you can apply to other products that you want that maybe are not on special. So going to the farmer's market is a great start because you cut out all kinds of extra charges in the retail setting. Okay, now those of you, I don't know if you heard, there was a huge dog food recall. They kept adding more brands, and that's because all these products, people, all the peanut butter, all the dog food, they make them at like a couple of factories. They put this brand or that brand, but most all of these are made by co-packers. They give them a recipe, and then they order the ingredients, and this one company puts all these things together. Well, if their machinery gets messed up and contaminated, guess what? They're running through those machines, this brand, then this other brand, then this other brand. And so that's why one factory, you'll have multiple brands that are contaminated with things that can kill our dog or make them really sick and cost us thousands of dollars in vet bills. I personally buy organics, and they have a really great cat food that's like a pate type and a seafood that my cat really likes. What I like about the pate is it isn't a blob. I've got some seafood brands that just smelled like it was like the bottom of the barrel fish that they used in there. So nasty. I don't even want to smell it. This pate smells like nothing. And I love it because it flakes and it doesn't stick together whatsoever, because my cat gets really frustrated when he can't eat it. He has no hands. He can't get to it, and it stays all flaky, and he eats everything on the plate. So I end up with a lot less waste because of this. The dog food too, but I recommend that you try to make your own dog food. Use some like organic brown rice. You can use good tuna. I have a great tuna right here. Safe Catch. Wild Planet is the other one. Oh, this is Wild Planet. Safe Catch is the other one. I have a great tuna and a wild mackerel, and they test these. They have places around the world that are pristine areas. They cook their meat in the can. Other companies cook it, and then they put it in the can, and they take what the drippings from what they cooked, and they create another product to make more money. And you lose all kinds of nutrition and flavor. They pack it in the can and cook it in the can. So you get the full flavor, the full nutrition, and it's tested for mercury and other harmful metals. Okay, the wild mackerel is so great, full of vitamin D. I mean, these are the kind of foods that give you all the great fats that make your brain work good, okay? And these are great diet foods, everyone. I will just take 1 can of mackerel, add like some chopped onions and tomatoes, and then you could put like some parsley or something, some sort of green thing in there if you want. And I get my Mary's Gone crackers that are just 100% seeds, but they have a special machine that they get the seeds to stick together. And they have all different kinds of flavors, and so you get seed power. But I use those, and I just, dip it in the mackerel and get it on the cracker. And, that is a great meal. And I tell you, you will lose weight with that meal. Okay, another way if you want to lose weight, and a great bargain, is Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's really does have some great bargains there. And I'm going to give you another example here. This free-range chicken broth, I tell you, you can just put this in a pan, put some frozen vegetables, mixed vegetables, peas, and then put some omega-3 butter and a few spices. Instant soup right there. The peas give you fiber. The broth, especially if it's bone broth, gives you gelatin. That's great for your immune system, your connective tissue. You like having beautiful skin? Drink bone broth, okay? That's one of the keys right there. Fresh fruits and vegetables from the farmer's market too, okay? But chicken broth is just such a great diet food, and it's so nice and filling if you put like a little bit of fiber, vegetables in there. And I tell you, frozen vegetables, this broth, and when you're sick, that is a great go-to thing because you have no energy, you want something but nothing heavy, and you can make this in a couple of minutes even by yourself if you're sick. So just keep those organic frozen vegetables in this chicken broth, and it's a great bargain at Trader Joe's. And this, I made all kinds of peanut brittle, and I've got my recipes on my Smart Health Talk website on the homepage. Peanut brittle cookies, all kinds of cookies. But I used corn syrup. Well, it's GMO. If it's not organic, guaranteed. But it's also expensive if it's organic. Wholesome sweeteners at Stater Brothers, $6.99. Guess how much at Stater Brothers? And they're plain label, $3.99. Okay? That was like $4 versus $7. That's a $3 savings. I bought like 10 of these because that's such a good deal, and you can use the corn syrup for frostings and all kinds of other candies and things. Okay, now another great bargain at Trader Joe's is the sugar. If you don't have a Costco card, because you can get a good deal there, but we've looked everywhere. Trader Joe's, absolutely the best bargain on sugar. And sugar is something, I don't eat a lot of it, but I got to have it in my coffee in the morning and my tea. So I like to have that. But I also get raw organic honey. That's the exact one you want, raw organic honey at Trader Joe's for like $4.99 or something like that. But anyway, it was like half the cost of what you'd find at other places. So if you haven't been into a Trader Joe's, please check it out. Here's another bargain they have there. Here's organic Raisin Bran clusters. They have private label cereals. This right here, $2.99. $3 for an organic, 100% organic. Well, it's probably 95%. Protein, fiber, low fat, organic Raisin Bran clusters. I mean, $3, people. Okay, I got another one, and I'll tell you this is a bargain that I got memorized. Sprouts right now, Sprouts Market. They have Cascadian Farm, 2 for $5. Now, Cascadian Farm was bought by General Mills, and I don't like General Mills at all. And all those other cereals that you're buying from General Mills and Kellogg's, they're all full of glyphosate at levels that would shock you. They won't even tell anyone. They tested them, but they won't tell anyone because they know we would be so pissed. Okay? But Cascadian Farm, they have these multi-grain squares because let's face it, they know how to make the little Life cereal, the Chex, and all that. Those big companies got this special machine. I was a Life cereal lover most of my life. I won't eat it now, of course, but this multi-grain squares, so delicious. $2.50 a box. And it's a big box. It's got 12.3 ounces in it. Okay? All right. Now, another really quick meal that you guys can whip up is chili. Okay? And this is the perfect time for chili. Now, if you're watching this on video, which this video goes up on YouTube, it's on our KCAARadio.com website, I have bulk kidney beans. I have them here in a Ziploc bag. I can cook these in a crock pot. You just add water. Don't add salt or anything else. Like, add twice as much water as beans. Start off there, but you check them and make sure they still have enough water in there. They're not dry. And you just cook them till they're soft. Just put it on high. Set it for 8 hours. Go to work. Come home. If they're not done enough, cook them longer. And then you end up with this huge, giant crock pot full of kidney beans, which are full of protein and fiber and vitamin C and all kinds of nutrition. Okay? So, and it's cheap. It's cheap. These are only like, it's something like maybe $1 a pound. And 1 pound of beans, when they're cooked, is a lot. Okay? Then I go get Amy's chili. I have Amy's chili. They have spicy, medium. I think there's a regular one. You take these cooked beans, you mix 3 cans of the Amy's chili, and then I have some organic ketchup here. Put about a cup of ketchup in there. Mix that up, and you can add a few spices, and it's good just like that. I love to throw in frozen vegetables, like corn is really great in chili. That adds more fiber and more nutrition when you sneak the vegetables in when your kids don't know it. Of course, you can add some onions and garlic too if you want. You can saute that in some olive oil first and then add the cans of chili and the cooked beans and the spices. And I even have a jar of crushed tomatoes here. And it's always good to get tomatoes in a jar if you can, because the BPA, it's a hormone disrupting chemical. It's in the seam of cans. And when you have high acid foods, it eats away at the seam, and the BPA, the hormone disruptor, gets in the product, okay? So that's why jar, and plus it just tastes so much better. I hate that can taste in my tomatoes. I mean, I'm sure someone's had that before. You can just taste it. Another great bargain at Trader Joe's, here's some organic baked beans, okay? You can go and get a grass-fed burger, which right now over at Smart and Final, they have organic grass-fed beef, $4.99 a pound. $4.99 a pound. Normally it's about $8. So that's almost half off. Now, the thing that I don't like about it, and this is the kind of thing that we teach you on Smart Health, If it said Sun-Fed Ranch, I know those people. They've been around for over 100 years. I know exactly where that meat came from, and I totally trust those people. I interviewed them. Their brand, some private label brand, I have no clue where it came from. Absolutely no clue. I don't know what farm. I can try and call Smart and Final and find out. But that is the difference, okay? There's a reason it's cheaper, you know? But, you know, that's something you can go buy like 10 packages of for $50, stick it in the freezer. Do you know how many meals you can make out of a package of organic grass-fed beef? And guess what it's full of? Omega-3s. Yeah, that stuff that's great for your brain and your heart and your immune system. It's in that beef. And you can get pasture butter that has the omega-3, so you throw that in. I mean, when you're eating good butter, it is not hurting you. It is helping you. It is the bad fats, those palm oils that I was talking about, those kind of things. You don't want those in your body. And I tell you, these organic baked beans, you just add some organic barbecue sauce, and you have organic baked beans. So you can take these and you can change them up. But it's something that's quick. You can just throw it in the pan, heat it up, and you've got a great fiber source. And it's super cheap. It's not very expensive at all. Okay, and I have some other supplements over here. I have a Maca Magic. This is something that I didn't take for a while, and then when I start taking it, I could definitely feel the difference. They have one that's just a good one for you, but then they have other ones for women and men for when your hormones start getting low and, you want to kind of have that pizzazz again. Well, they got some Maca Magic for that too. And if you look up Maca Magic, that's probably the brand name, and this is a very high quality product. And again, fair trade, where it comes from in South America. People are treated fairly, paid a fair price. I mean, you can feel good about buying that product. Okay, we've got some other green fitting, some sort of spirulina, the chlorella. I can never say that right. Chlorella, Earth Circle Foods. Really great bargains on their products. You can get packages of chlorella tablets, so they don't have all the bottles and that kind of thing, which is actually more expensive, so they can give you a cheaper price. But they have spirulina powder. They have the because they have the tablets. So if you don't really, I don't really make smoothies. But Earth Circle Foods, check them out. And Whole Earth and Sea, one of my absolute favorites. When you're taking vitamin D3. You want the D3, not the D2. Whole Earth and Sea. I just talked about this other product and the VitaFusion, and I read you the ingredients. Crap, okay? This, they get it from organic food sources. I like that. That's what I want in my supplement. And not only do they have that, but they have raw, organic, plant-based protein, vegan. They have a great green bar that has 15 grams of protein in it. And it's organic vegan greens protein bar, so it's vegan, 80% raw, chocolate covered. And actually, I liked it. I am not a bar eater, so I'm a tough sell. But it was good for me. It was good for me. I'm okay, if I got nothing else, because I like eating real food. I only get so many calories per day, and I want to make it count with some good stuff I like, some stick to your ribs kind of stuff. So, I really don't choose bars much. But okay, the other thing I want to talk about is tea. This is a great time to try Kai tea. Now, the one that I liked, this is Tipus, Tipus. They are a great brand. Their slow brew was absolutely delicious. What you do is you put water in a pan, a cup of water. You put 2 teaspoons of the powder, which has cinnamon and cloves and all these super rich spices that are full of antioxidants and build your immune system. And again, antioxidants good for the skin. Okay, and you cook that for 5 minutes till it gets boiling, and cook it for just a couple more minutes. Then you put milk in it. And then you cook it for for just till well, for me, I cook it just till it doesn't boil, just right before that. Strain the spices out, and you have a drink that is so rich and so incredible. And the way it warms you up on one of these cold days, Kai tea, but make sure you get like Tepes is really a great brand, or some other organic brand. Now, many of us know that drinking some lemon in the morning, I tell you, it cleans you out, all right? It will take care of business for you when you drink when you're drinking lemon on a regular basis. But I can never like that lemon taste. It's like, too much. This is my formula. Okay, Newman's Organic. I get 5 boxes of these on Amazon for like $20-something, and it lasts me forever. It's just black tea, Newman's Own Organic black tea. Okay, then you put this more expensive tea, the Emperor's Parade by Numi, which is just the most fantastic tea company. This stuff comes from 500-year-old tea plants, okay? And you put 1 tea bag of this with 2 tea bags of the black tea, and then a half a lemon squeezed in there, and it's a big cup. You will be able to drink that lemon, and it won't even bother you at all. And I only have a couple minutes left, everyone, so I'm going to give a shout out for this one other product. Actually, I would like to try it. See if I can open it up. Okay, this is called Ginger. It's the Ginger People. And it's called Ginger Soother. And not only do they have a soother, but they have ginger shots. Okay, they have a turmeric latte mix that has ginger in it. So you just take your hot water and mix it with this powder, and has turmeric and ginger in it. Now, of course, ginger is great for nausea, and it helps prevent cancer. How about that? You know, and when you start feeling a little bit nauseous, ginger is great for soothing your stomach, but just getting it in your diet every day, you know, and turmeric also prevents cancer. I want to try their ginger smoother. Again, I'm a tough sell, and this is good. Okay, I can get ginger and turmeric down and enjoy it. That's a trick, okay? And they did that. So the Ginger People, everyone, check it out, all right? Hey, are you guys smart shoppers now that you've been listening to Smart Health Talk today? I hope so. I hope you learned some things. You know, check out your ads, find the good bargains on organic, and, you know, buy extra when you can get the good deals with stuff that you like. Go to the farmer's market. 2 important things we learned today on the show. And I'm Elaine McFadden, your own personal dietitian. Please find us on social media, all kinds, especially Pinterest, everybody, and YouTube. Check out our Smart Health Talk website. We have so much information. Check out that resources tab, okay? That's where a lot of good stuff. In the news, we have our blogs there. We've got recipes. So much stuff on that website. You could stay there for probably a couple hours. Okay. All right. We're signing off. Elaine McFadden saying thanks for listening to Smart Health Talk, everyone. Bye, Organic.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com.